Keyshawn Davis was out there in ATL at Clarissa Shields' fight. And if you look at the videos that they have, the little clips of him being spoken to at ringside, I looked at him instantaneously. You could see it. I've seen them enough times to notice, like you notice when you see something on a person, because you don't see it before. You know when people smoke weed really bad, especially the lips start to turn black or that purplish look, and they get them big bags under their eyes. I don't know since when it's been cool for people to be fighters and smoke, drink, or any of that. But this is what happens with these fighters. Like I keep telling y'all, they don't have the dedication, the understanding, they don't have the willpower. They want to be celebrities. The most you seen a fighter do back in the days was you might have saw them make a cameo on like a sitcom or something, but you know, maybe a few movie roles here and there for certain people, but like what I'm saying, they wasn't trying to be celebrities. They were fighting to be boxing champions, to make as much money as they could, to cement their names in the sport and all that type of stuff. But if you look at any fighter, like Ray Leonard was on drugs real bad at one point. That might, you know, like if you think about it, that might explain why he would retire, come back, and why times he wasn't sure of himself. Yeah, he said it out of his own mouth that he wasn't sure of himself at times. So the thing is, the skill, the will, the determination. When you are high, I don't know what it feels like to be high. I can't tell you from experience, thankfully. But when you have, watch people when they're high, they don't even remember what happened the next day, most of them. Or they don't remember it the way it actually happened. Well, that's really hard drugs, and I know people that smoke a lot of weed in the same thing. People who know how to weed, nah, BS. I know people who personally, we have conversation. A guy I used to hang out with back in the day, who always swap kung fu movies. And I remember he came to my house. I went to his house one morning. He's like, yo, I got that, whatever the movie was, Mystery of Chess Boxing. And I said, all right, cool. I got that Crippled Avengers. So you know what? I'm gonna run to your house real quick. We still down the street from each other. Jog down there, give him the movie. He gave me the movie. He came to my house a couple hours later. He saw his movie that he lent to me and go, oh, hell, you had that? I got that too, man. Yeah. I'm like, that is yours, man. No, my shit at the crib. I was like, gee, that's yours. You don't remember I came to your house this morning and got the movie? What? And when I got to his house, he, yo. Whole time he talking to me, looking like damn Mr. Magoo. Remember how the cartoon used to look, Mr. Magoo? Never seen this. Always just his eyes slanted, like they were closed, right? That's how he looked the whole time. I'm all right, cool. Swap the movies and I go back. He didn't even remember. We talking about maybe 3 hours ago. He can't remember 3 hours ago. I came to his house and we swapped movies. He called me. Right? So that's for the people. No, man, we don't. No, BS. You can't speak for other people and you damn sure can't tell me what I seen. Here's what I think. You take any athlete that compete. I'm not talking about somebody that just lift weights or just do cardio. I'm talking about somebody that compete at something. Because you could walk around and be muscular. Or you could walk around and look like you're in way better shape than you actually are. Anybody that competes will tell you drugs, weed, smoking, cigarettes, whatever. It works against you. I think with Keyshawn, I looked at him. That's why I said, look at the picture. Look at the two on the left and right end, and look at the one in the middle. You see how them big puffy ass black bags, how big bags under his eyes, right? Look at the picture in the middle. You don't see that at all. That's what happens. I think that his hunger is no longer there. I think he made up in his mind, I've made it now. And I think that once you get to the point where, damn, now I can buy stuff I normally couldn't buy. You know, okay, cool. I done made a nice little chunk of change here, and okay, cool. You know what? But his ego, his immaturity. Now, this is a guy that called himself the businessman. How you gonna do business and you high, man? I mean, that's almost like when they say don't get high off your own supply, right? It's almost the same thing. It really is, because you're damaging yourself. I mean, imagine you showing up to a business meeting high out of your mind. Imagine who wants to do business with a junkie. And people think you can't be a junkie if you just smoke. Well, yeah, you're a weed junkie. You're a weed head. Your outer appearance starts changing. You're at Clarissa's fight. Cool. Show up to her fight, but wouldn't even show up to your own. I think the hunger's no longer there. I think he's gotten too complacent. It's going to take somebody to take him by the shoulders and shake the shit out of him to get him to snap back into reality and understand, man, yo, you screwing up. You are screwing up. You know, anytime these fighters, they don't learn from the past. You want to know something? Especially for the people that said things like, well, Deontay Wilder was the only black American heavyweight that was out there that people really knew of. I mean, Michael Hunter was there, but, you know, he wasn't doing nothing. He had Jarrell Miller there, but, you know, he is who he is. It really wasn't nobody else, right? Had Jermaine Franklin, but, you know, his biggest fights, he lost. So case in point, even before you knew who Jermaine Franklin was and the fact that, yeah, Michael Hunter was there, but like, yeah, they was trying to push for Deontay to be this guy. But Deontay was turning money down. You think that Deontay want to be 40 years old still, but you think that he want to? No. He thought he'd be done by now. He himself said he wanted to box. He said he wanted to stop at 40, right? Okay, but you think he still want to have to fight now, especially when you got to start from a position of you got to prove yourself. Because for name's sake, we can stick you in there with the top guy, but they know Deontay more than likely will get knocked out. So therefore, let me talk my stuff. Give me an easy fight. At his age and with his ability that he has, they can give him an easy fight like the guy that was ranked 238. And it's possible it might go the distance. Or he might lose and look bad losing. Like he looked bad in that fight, but people still want to try to beef him up. Turning down money, letting people eat your food for you. I never understood that. How do you do that but get upset when somebody question your integrity, question your decision making, question the dumb things that you say? So I'm watching this and it's like, you think that these younger fighters coming up will pay attention to that and learn from these things? Like, nah. When he had a chance to make that 120 million, see, you trying to make AJ look bad, trying to call him out like saying, oh, he said for 50 million we could fight tomorrow, and they come up with that fake offer. That fake offer. I'll bet you, let me tell you, we ain't gonna get to that. We ain't gonna get to that. But bottom line, they don't learn. Man, you turning down millions of dollars. Let me explain something to y'all. For $3 million, when the most you made was $1 million. You don't have a leg to stand on with turning that money down and then trying to justify it. You think because you put, you in the card that you had with Abdullah Mason, everybody was on there. I think Kamel Moulton was on that card too, but whoever was on there, everybody on that card, bottom line, they came out 10,000 strong. And somehow you thought, like, what, I'm worth 10 million now? I'm worth 20 million. No, that's not how that works. You turning that money down to fight a top guy. He already told us he's not confident that he could beat Devin. He plain and simple when he said I was only 7 fights and knowing I wasn't ready. It's obvious he's still not ready. When fighters say things like, give me that opportunity, I bet you I take that opportunity. Then they get the opportunity and then they back out. When these things happen, what's the excuse? And they start talking about money. These dudes are not superstars. They're not household names. You are on your way up. And then you stunted your own growth. You stood there, you sat there and watched, Andy Cruz lose A guy that beat you 4 times in the amateurs and you cheered and applauded because you didn't want to fight him in the pros. Who don't want to fight the person that beat them and get revenge? Who? Who doesn't want that? So when I'm listening to this dude talk, I don't hear confidence. These dudes, man, let me tell you something, man. I know myself, the type of training I did and that I do. And sometimes you be in the dustiest, most broken down place, no heat, but you in there like, fuck it. It ain't about luxury. Man, you go watch old videos of Marvin Hagler and Ray and Duran, all these guys. They worked with what they had to work with. Marvin Hagler out here jogging with boots on. That wasn't the wisest decision because that will screw up your feet and ain't no sense for you to do that to yourself. But you understand what I'm saying? The toughness is what I'm talking about. The mental toughness. So I can tell you this. None of these dudes is more skilled than them motherfuckers. But I can tell you, even if that would be the case, that let's say if some of them, let's just say, and I'm not saying they do, I'm saying they don't. But let's say if some of them had more skill, the will and determination of them fighters would have broke these little soft motherfuckers down. And they realized, like, damn, I'm not built like that. Man, there's no way for you. There's no reason for you to turn this money down, right? And I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, yeah, this is what happened to these fighters. They become party animals. Ask Burt Cooper. What happens when you partying and smoking and drinking when you should be fighting? Ask Ray Mercer. Ask Michael Nunn. Ask Sugar Ray. But Sugar Ray wasn't doing it to be a party animal. He just had a drug problem. He was addicted to drugs. He was trying to bury and drown himself in what he was feeling to try to escape it. And that's all you're doing is drowning yourself and whatever you're going through. Well, ask any of these fighters and they'll tell you, and you say, ask Errol Spence, if you could do one thing different in your career right now, what would you do? They'll tell you, I wouldn't have did any smoking and drinking. Because at some point, you might not feel like it's catching up to you, but it will. Oh, it will. And when it does, it hits you. You might go to the rail. I mean, you don't know when it's going to hit you. And it hits you. It's not like it's going to warn you, hey, I'm coming. Don't take this fight. Nah, you feel fine. All of a sudden, I mean, it can happen anywhere. Imagine 2 fighters healthy. One of them loses his life in the ring. So what you think can happen when you are someone that's not in your right mind? People can talk all the trash they want about Errol Spence, but Errol Spence did the right thing. He came back. He had that one fight. He see where he was at. And again, like he said, if I can't beat Tim Tszyu, then I don't need to go forward. And he's right. Because Tim Tszyu's not the best in the division. There's several people better than Tim Tszyu. He already got 2 losses, right? So, I mean, bottom line. For Errol Spence, and his loss came at the hands of, I forgot the guy's name, but like people didn't think Tim was going to lose that fight. Errol Spence is like, nah, I still got my brains together and all the stuff he done been through and all that drinking, but nah, people don't learn. They don't learn. So yeah, I got money. Man, I go to the strip club. I got strippers coming in. They do whatever I want to do. I can travel. They get high. And that's one of the first things. Black fighters, black athletes, entertainers, the ones who think that as soon as I get money, all this gold, diamonds on my teeth and shit on my neck, and yeah, that's the first thing they do. Start grabbing a bunch of shit that you can't invest in. It's worthless after you buy it. Nothing. I'd rather be that guy, not to compare myself to people, but I'd rather be that guy that I don't have no jewelry on, right? No jewelry. Got no ice on, and you got all that shit on. Well, I got a nice ass house, nice cars. My refrigerator is, forget the cars. The cars is to get us back and forth where we need to go. I ain't talking about the brag, but I'm saying got cars, refrigerator full of food, pantry full of food, money in my pocket, money in the bank. We're good. But you out, yeah, right. I know, I see you. I see you with all that worthless nonsense in your mouth and on your neck and on your wrist. But that's always, as soon as black people get money, they got to go get some shine. Then they got to, I got to go get a car that As soon as I see somebody with a newer model, I'm gonna want to trade this one in because I got money now and I'm too dumb to invest it or to know how to save or do whatever. Everything is just I'm gonna spend it as soon as I get it, and then I'm gonna turn down money. I believe if he would have fought Devin, that Devin would have beat the snot out of him. I believe Devin outboxes him, and Devin, pretty much wins, whether it's by knockout or whether it's decision. I believe Devin wins, and he believed Devin wins. But at least in a loss to Devin, people could say Devin's one of the top dudes out there. And you're not going, if you got $3 million offered from Devin, you're not going to get more. Who else going to pay you more than that? You made $1 million. That's the most you made. It's $1 million, right? So who else is going to pay you more than what Devin, what they were going to pay you? Who? Look at the boxing landscape. Look at his weight class. Who is he going to fight and he's going to get more than that? And when you are the type of person that is unprofessional, you might think Turkey or somebody from the people from Zoof or somebody going to contact you and, hey, man, come fight with us and, yeah, we'll get you. It doesn't necessarily work like that. And what they do, what you do is you show them that you're not a trustworthy person. They'll skip past you. So now y'all out here getting high. You can see that shit. You can see it in his eyes, man. Yeah, that's from smoking weed, bro. That is from smoking weed. Y'all see me, right? Y'all see I'm good. So I'm sitting up here tomorrow doing my shit all up here, and I'm looking like, yeah. And I'm looking at them like, yeah, this is what this is. The hunger's not there. Then they want to bamboozle you and try to start talking all this mental health, and they start talking about everything other than, hey, you know what, man, I need to just get my shit together. Man, y'all are so soft. Every little thing. How the hell do you have a person that work just barely making minimum wage or a little more than minimum wage somewhere, and they're keeping their heads above water? You guys out here fighting for much bigger money and got the opportunities, and y'all turning it down? And these people that's not making, they're barely making anything, and they're sitting up here watching you fight, ordering your fights, giving you their money. The same way I tell people, start investing in yourself. Stop worrying about trying to make these fighters rich and make these celebrities rich. Man, work on you. You mean to tell me you care more about putting money in somebody else's pocket than your own? You care more about putting food in somebody else's mouth than your own? And they out here bamboozling you. So why he jumping in front of a camera hollering mental health issues is real? Man, we done been through something. I can give y'all some horror stories, but you don't see me out here, man. Yeah. It doesn't change what happens. You got to keep going forward. That's why when things happen, you don't have to look back. You got it in here. Y'all need to look at yourselves in the mirror, and y'all need to understand you're not going to be in your physical prime forever. At some point, it's no longer there. You're no longer any type of draw. And just like that, your career is over. And you got to find something else to do. And you might be one of them fighters that, man, the money is nowhere near what you wanted it to be, what you needed it to be. Now here you are, well past your prime, still trying to fight. And still trying to convince people to come watch you because you're better now than you ever was. Keyshawn, just like so many other young fighters, man, they get to this point where they just want to become celebrities, and life is about making money and fucking bitches. That's what they tell you, right? That's what they tell you. And so they have all this baby mama drama. They deal with people that distract them and pull them away from the sport. When people are going from like high school to college, or they're graduating, whether they go to college or whatever, bottom line, whatever they're doing, the parents will always say, good parents will tell you, listen, try not to get nobody pregnant. Focus on establishing yourself and getting things together. Because once you have a baby, that responsibility can't be neglected. The baby don't need to suffer because of you and the mother not being ready to be parents. But that's what's going to end up happening, okay, if you don't do what you're supposed to, because then you're going to put yourself in a position where even if you wanted to go to school and learn a trade or get some type of license or something, you might not be able to find the time because you got to be a father. You and the mother of your child might be in a position where you're going to work, she's coming from work. She's coming from work, you're going to work. Y'all not spending no quality time. Now there's bumps in the road. You don't know what may happen. And you don't want to be a baby daddy and she a baby mama. You want to be a family. They tell them that out of love. Well, the same way with fighters. All these distractions, all this unnecessary shit. Everybody want the model chick. Everybody want to, it's they don't understand. They don't understand. I think that his hunger is gone. Can he find it again? I don't know. Because he may very well get in there with somebody in his very next fight, whenever it is, against whoever, and get his ass whooped. Because I'm telling you, when you get to the point, and I'm not saying that he can't find it, but that hunger's not there. There is no reason for him to turn this fight down. The hunger's not there, and he don't believe in himself as much as he claims he does. So all that shit he talks and calling Brian Norman trash and he'll fight Brian Norman. Right, but everything he said, he sat there and said, you gotta sound like that, right? And told Andre Ward he don't believe the stuff he say, he just say it because he gotta sound like that. How do you think that make people feel? When they look and think, man, we willing to pay you big money, we willing to, and this is, you go out and you make these stupid childish videos, and so basically you're just talking. So a lot of people that believed in Keyshawn is like, man, this dude is a disappointment. But this is what they start doing. Start wanting to get high. Start getting high. Everything is about the celebrity life. I can buy this. Damn, she got a fat. Yo, I'm going to get some. Yo, everything, the focus is not boxing. It's not training. Think about this. Before recent times, every time you saw Keyshawn, he was in the gym. Or he was sitting somewhere at his home in front of a camera, talking about who he fighting next. Everything was boxing, boxing, boxing. Notice how that slowed down, and all you see him doing now is trying to defend himself and make excuses for making bad decisions. This is what you're getting, man. This is what you're getting. And regardless to all this big bro, little bro crap with Shakur, the main problem with all of these fighters is they're trying to hit the jackpot early. And for some reason, they think they're worth more than what they really are. And that's their biggest problem. And pretty much, when you're dishonest with yourself, you're dishonest with everybody else. Nobody has to order your fights, go to your fights. And when you give people reason to not want to, and then you start turning around, like when I say, for example, right, I can't support certain things. I'm about supporting black-owned businesses, black fighters, like to a certain degree. I'm not here devoting my money and time to you motherfuckers. Like you understand what I'm saying? We show support in certain ways, but you understand? So yeah, I'll buy from you grow your own food, or you got your own. Yeah, hell yeah, I would do that, no problem. Not racist against nobody, just saying, yeah, hell yeah, I will stand and help my people, yeah. But to help some crooked, shiesty motherfucker, no. To support some crooked, shiesty, no. No, and that's the thing. And I don't care where you from. I don't care about none of that. So it's not like I'm going to turn this shiesty black dude off and down to go over here and support the shiesty whoever. No, that's the whole thing what I'm saying. Once I know what I need to know about you, okay, cool. Then certain things you do, business is just business. But you understand what I'm saying? We're pushing for these black fighters to get out there, do their thing. And people always going to try to deny the black athletes. But you know, when you pull stuff like this, it's your own people that you're spitting in their faces, and the people that you were doing business with, the people that invested time and money in you. And then you turn around and you don't want to, fight. And you go back to him. I woke up this morning, I was 147. Now, somebody must love me, right? You were the one barking and pretending you wanted the Devin Haney fight. You know Devin wasn't coming to 140. And even if Devin was coming to 140, you still would, if he was dropping back down, you still would have found a reason to not take the fight. And behind closed doors, y'all talking, somebody would have tried to talk you into it. Probably Bishop would have tried to talk you into it because, yo, he going to be weak at 140. Because Dev came off from 135. You know what I'm saying? He looked strong. You see him against Brian Owen, he looked strong. He come back down. If anything, it's going to drain him. That's why he able to make it at 147. So he come back down to 140. It's only 7 pounds, but it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he won't be at full strength. That's what he'd have been telling you. But case in point, this is what we do, man. You see Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's retired. But you see him getting high. You see him eating mushrooms all the time. And again, he living his best life. Yeah, all right, whatever. And Mike is no longer active, okay? So even like that little fake fights he had with Jake Paul and all that stuff and Roy Jones and all that just to get some extra money stuff that, whatever. You a young, active fighter. Hell, you don't even have Mike Tyson type money. So for you to find yourself in a position of turning fights down, making excuses for not taking the fights, then getting mad at the people that support your career for calling you out on it, even respectfully. I ain't talking about somebody calling you a dickhead or something like that, but I mean like for somebody like, yo, Keyshawn, man, why would you turn the fight down? Instead of you like respectfully responding, you can't because you don't have an honest answer. You understand what I'm saying? To give them. So, because the honest answer is, yo, man, I don't think I can beat. I don't think I could beat Devin, man. You know what I'm saying? I be talking that shit, but I don't think I could beat Devin. And I really didn't expect the fight to actually happen. I was trying to get y'all on my side, trying to make y'all think it was Devin and them that was ducking. Yeah. But it was me all the time. Nah, you're not going to tell them the truth. But you get mad at them, call them a bunch of haters, and pretty much look at what you're doing. And you out here just standing around and shit. That's what happens. This is what these fighters do. I keep telling y'all keep embracing mental health issues and acting like it's something that's just a part of you. Like you wear it like it's like you should just have a badge made. I suffer from mental health issues. So everybody that you see, you too. Oh yeah, y'all have little group hugs and all whatever. Because this is always an excuse to not elevate, to try to be the best that you can be at what you're doing, to try to train, learn, gain more experience, more knowledge. I see this boy Devin Haney. He over here working with damn James Toney. You know what I'm saying? He with Zab's father and all. You see this dude over here training. Devin he rocked all the diamonds and all that bullshit too and all. But I mean, when you look at Devin's always training, man. Devin ain't out here worrying about y'all talking nonsense and all this goofy stuff y'all are doing. That's the difference between somebody that's hungry and somebody that's pretending to be hungry. But yeah, man, you trade in your money, you trade in your opportunity to go out here and display the craft that you chose to be a part of, which is professional boxing. And instead, you want to be a celebrity. You want to be a weed head. He's distracted by his own thoughts. He's like, he doesn't have any structure to what he wants to do. Got the money. Debo! You Debo! Yeah. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. Right. Hey, look at the thumbnail. Just look at his eyes. Like I said, look at the left, then look at right, then look at the middle. And instantaneously, wow, damn, look at this motherfucker. He got bags here, no bags right there in the middle, and then bags again. And if that's what's important to you, getting a high, being a celebrity, being a comedian, being a liar, if that's your focus, more power to you, man. Because you're going to stay exactly where you are. And like I said, the worst thing happens, you fight somebody that you're not supposed to lose to, and you have that what we call a banana peel fight. Next thing you know, somebody 10 years from now doing a story about Keyshawn Davis and what he could have been. He looked like a promising prospect at one point, but hey, then his life took a tragic turn. He started smoking in the bottom line. Get it together, man. Shit don't last forever. Y'all better learn from the Adrian Broners of the world. Learn from, Michael Nunn didn't do drugs. Let me make that known. He didn't use drugs. He was helping sell stuff. All right? He wasn't using it. But case in point is the distraction, the being pulled away from getting involved in something that takes you away from the craft you claim you love. And that's where I'm going with that. But it is what it is. That's all I got for you guys. Catch you guys on the next video.